Hello everyone and welcome back to the channel. Today we're diving into one of the most invigorating and some might say craziest traditions on the planet. The Finnish practice of ice swimming after a sauna. Then you step out into the piercingly cold air, walk across a snowy landscape, and plunge into a hole cut in a frozen lake. It sounds intense, right? But for Finns, this isn't a dare. It's a cherished ritual, a source of wellness, and a tradition with roots that go deeper than any frozen lake. So grab a warm drink, get cozy, and let's explore the fascinating history of how this hot and cold therapy became a cornerstone of Finnish culture. To truly understand ice swimming, we first have to talk about its inseparable partner, the sauna. The sauna is the heart of Finnish identity. Its history stretches back thousands of years, evolving from simple pits dug into the earth and covered with animal hides. These early smoke saunas or savasaunas were multi-purpose dwellings. People lived in them, cooked in them, gave birth in them, and used them for ritual purification. The heat and steam were not just for comfort. They were essential for survival and hygiene in a harsh northern climate. For ancient Finns, the sauna was a sacred space, a bridge between the physical and spiritual worlds, where the Laili, the spirit of the steam, was believed to have healing powers. This deep-seated reverence for the sauna set the stage for what was to come. As Finns settled into permanent agricultural communities, the sauna evolved. It moved out of the main dwelling into its own dedicated log building, but its importance never waned. The weekly sauna ritual became a non-negotiable part of life. It was a time to cleanse the body and soul after a hard week's work, a place for social gathering, and a natural pharmacy. The belief in the healing properties of intense heat was absolute. So, what happens when you combine this profound belief in heat therapy with a landscape dotted with over 180,000 lakes that freeze solid every winter? You get the perfect conditions for a tradition like ice swimming to be born. The exact moment the first Finn decided to jump into icy water after a sauna is lost to history. But it wasn't a formal invention. It was a natural, almost instinctual progression. Think about it practically. In winter, the closest source of water to rinse off after a sauna was often a frozen lake or river. Rolling in the clean, soft snow was one option, and many still do that today. But cutting a hole in the ice, known as an avanto, provided a quick and effective way to wash off sweat and cool down. This wasn't initially seen as a health practice, but as a practical part of the bathing process. It was simply the most efficient way to get clean and cool down in the dead of winter. These early ice swimmers were likely hardy farmers, loggers, and fishermen, people accustomed to tough conditions. For them, the shock of the cold water was just another part of their rugged lifestyle. They discovered probably by accident, the exhilarating feeling that followed the initial shock, a rush of energy, a feeling of profound clarity, and a sense of being intensely alive. This feeling, this invigorating afterglow, is what began to transform the practice from a simple rinse-off into a deliberate act of wellness. Word of mouth would have spread through small communities about the benefits. People noticed they felt stronger, more resilient to colds, and had a general sense of well-being after their weekly hot and cold ritual. It wasn't until the 20th century that avanto-uiminen or ice hole swimming began to be formalized and studied. As Finland urbanized, the tradition could have faded away. Instead, it was embraced with renewed vigor. Associations and clubs dedicated to winter swimming started popping up across the country. These clubs maintained the avanto, often building heated changing rooms and, of course, a communal sauna right by the water's edge. This transformed ice swimming from a solitary rural practice into a social activity. It became a community event where people of all ages and walks of life could gather, share a sauna, and take the plunge together. During the mid-20th century, particularly after the wars, there was a renewed emphasis on national identity and physical fitness in Finland. The concept of sisu, a unique Finnish word meaning stoic determination, grit, and resilience in the face of adversity, became a cultural touchstone. Ice swimming perfectly embodied sisu. It required mental fortitude to overcome the body's natural instinct to flee from the cold. The practice became a symbol of Finnish toughness and the ability to not just endure, but thrive in a challenging environment. It was a physical manifestation of the national character. In recent decades, science has started to catch up with what Finns have known for generations. Modern research has explored the physiological effects of this extreme temperature contrast. Studies suggest that regular cold water immersion can boost the immune system, improve circulation, reduce stress, and release a flood of endorphins, the body's natural mood elevators. This scientific validation has given the ancient tradition a new wave of popularity, not just in Finland, but around the world. What was once a practical necessity for rural Finns is now a trendy wellness practice recommended by health gurus globally. But for Finns, it's still so much more than a health trend. It's a connection to their ancestors and to nature. Standing by the avanto on a quiet winter morning, with steam rising from the water into the frigid air, is a deeply meditative experience. The shock of the cold water forces you into the present moment. All your worries, all the noise of modern life just vanishes. For those few seconds or minutes in the water, there is only the feeling of the cold, your breath, and your heartbeat. It's a powerful reset button for the mind and body. It's about testing your limits, feeling alive, and sharing a unique, slightly crazy experience that binds the community together. So, from a simple pit in the ground to a modern wellness phenomenon, the journey of the sauna and ice swimming is a story about the Finnish soul. It's a testament to practicality, resilience, and a deep, abiding connection to the natural world. It's a tradition born of fire and ice, heat and cold, that continues to define what it means to be Finnish. It's a reminder that sometimes the most challenging experiences are the most rewarding. Thank you so much for joining me on this chilly journey into Finnish history. If you enjoyed this deep dive, please give this video a thumbs up. And don't forget to subscribe and hit that notification bell so you won't miss our next adventure. Have you ever tried ice swimming? Let me know in the comments below. Stay curious, and we'll see you in the next video.